Hey, it's Jared with another Elementor tutorial. Today we're going to take a look at sections and columns and quickly learn how to use them. So a section goes full width on the page and columns are what you work with in between. You can't use section only, you have to have at least one column in a section, and you can break up into multiple columns and add elements into those columns. So we're going to click on plus to add a new column. You can see we've got a full width column right here. I can add a new column to it to split it up, or of course I could just choose from one of these preset structures here, and then I've got my two columns already there. So columns are used to allow you to set items next to each other without them becoming a conflict or stacking. By default, if you add multiple items to a column, it's going to stack them from top to bottom. So you might want to use multiple columns so that you can have items side by side. So since we have two 50-50 columns here, I could go ahead and throw two images into these columns. And so we'll just go ahead and throw two images there, which is great. I can customize these and choose images that I have from my computer or that I've already uploaded to WordPress. And now I have two images. These images have two different crop sizes, so you definitely want to make sure that your images are cropped in a similar way, or use some sort of an image crop selection here so that we can, customize that and make sure that those images are the same. So now that we have two side-by-side images, we can also add, for example, like a header below it, and so we'll add two headers. And then we'll add a block of text underneath that. That's a common thing that you'd typically do on a website, having sections, having a section with columns, and within those columns have maybe a couple of different pieces of information side by side. So, these two images being two different crops is bothering me. I would definitely make sure that those images were cropped using something like Photoshop, or even going in and editing the image within WordPress. Just to make sure that they're cropped the same. But, for the purposes of this tutorial, we're just learning how to use sections and columns. And I also have a video that's much more advanced on sections and columns, and so you'll want to make sure to check that out. I'll make sure to link to it below so that you can get to it. I have tons of Elementor tutorials here on this channel, so if you want to learn everything that there is to know about Elementor, you can watch these tutorials. You can also get my free course by using the links down below. I have an Elementor course that helps you get started learning everything that there is to know, including some of the expandability options that Elementor has. So I highly recommend that you take a look at that. So we have the two columns, but I can resize them. If I decide that I want one to be much larger, I can resize this, and you can see in the center of the screen there, it shows me my percentages. So I can set this nice and make sure that I'm not just going with random numbers. Like I might want to do a 30-70 split, and I think that looks pretty nice. And now the fact that this image isn't cropped appropriately doesn't bother me so much. So you can set different column widths as well. Within each section, there are a lot of options for editing your columns and how things are going to display and align within those columns. The section area has a lot of that as well. We've got a white background on this entire section, but we can quickly add a background color to it by maybe making this a lighter gray. And we want to add a little bit of padding because we don't want all of this to go so close up to the edge. It just doesn't really look that great yet. So I'm going to add a 40 pixel. There we go. 40 pixels is good. And so now that section with its columns are looking pretty good. So this is a quick and easy just tutorial on how to use sections and columns. There is a ton of customization for sections and columns, which I go to in depth in that other video. So if this video just kind of was enough to whet your appetite, make sure to go and check out that other video because it's about 20 minutes of going in depth into these settings. And then, of course, I have that free course that's available as well. So make sure to check out those links down in the description below. But that's going to do it for this video. Thanks so much for checking it out, and I hope to see you back soon in another Elementor tutorial video. Take care.